San Antonio suburbs have a lot of things that most Texas cities don't. You have small towns, super small towns with some really cool hometown charm, to bigger, fast-growing towns that are dang near cities and are on some of the list of the fastest growing places in the entire country. We're talking tree-covered neighborhoods, German heritage, river towns with tons of tourism activities, and so much more. We're starting off 2026 today with the top 10 suburbs of the entire San Antonio area. We're going to talk lifestyle, long-term potential, and just overall value from what you may see if you are looking at moving to a new place this coming year. And another thing we're going to talk about with each of these suburbs is who exactly I personally see as the perfect person to move to these areas. We're going to start at number 10 and work our way up to the number 1 suburb, in my opinion, for 2026. And this is an area that has a ton of charm for San Antonio. I don't talk a lot about it on this channel, and it is completely landlocked in the city of San Antonio. You won't want to miss that one. So let's start off on number 10, and that is Converse. So Converse is an area that is absolutely exploding right now. You have so much new construction going on in Converse. It is probably one of the areas that has the most new communities popping up. It is on the east southeast corner of San Antonio. It is right off I-10 and 1604. We're looking at one of the most affordable areas that we're going to talk about here at a price point of $257,000. That is including a ton of new construction. Converse is hard to beat for the value. Now, when it comes to the new builds in Converse, we're not talking about just those low-end, super affordable builders as far as like Lennar, D.R. Horton, KB Homes, like those kind of typical, what you think of when you think of affordable new construction. We're talking Ashton Woods, Chesmar, Meritage, Castle Rock, some of the better, higher quality builders, you know, kind of like that mid-tier to upper-tier builders. Converse is right there next to Randolph Air Force Base. So personally, I get a lot of clients that call me that are relocating to Randolph or just wanting to be close to the base. A lot of those types of folks are moving into Converse, especially with these new builds. You're getting lots of good incentives for VA buyers. Even now with interest rates having come down a little bit, I've got lenders that can get you down into those mid fives for your VA loans without looking at just the incentives that the builders are offering. Now let's talk a little bit more about a city that I go on and on and on about in this channel for good reason. It is just 30 minutes from San Antonio, and it is its own little universe. It's kind of isolated into itself, and that is New Braunfels. New Braunfels is basically a full-on city. You're not really getting into a suburb area where you're just looking at neighborhoods and some small town center stuff. You're looking at a full-blown self-sustained city in itself. You're looking at 120, 130,000 people by the time this comes out. You're looking at, you know, all the amenities that you could possibly want. You're looking at a really good downtown with lots of nightlife, some of the best restaurants, some of the best heritage, especially with the German heritage of New Braunfels. Looking at stuff that goes on in green, you're looking at Wurstfest, downtown area itself, all the architecture that's in New Braunfels. You've got a river town, Schlitterbahn, tubing the Guadalupe and the Comal rivers. You've got Creekside, so tons of shopping over there. You've got opportunities for new construction, multi-million-dollar estates, condos in town within walking distance of downtown and the rivers, tons of parks. I mean, New Braunfels has it all. And with a median sale price of the mid 300s, 330,000 or so, it is incredibly affordable as well. A couple of the biggest reasons that New Braunfels is going to continue to blow up over the next few years is that you've got big, really unique master plan communities that are being built. So Veramendi's been around for a while. It's continuing to be built. There's a lot of developments as far as new parks, new sections opening up with new builders. And then you've also got Mayfair. Mayfair is the new kind of hidden gem, crown jewel. I wouldn't say it's a hidden gem anymore either. It's kind of, the word is out. It's ready to go. You've got Costco that's being built right there. You've got new elementary school. Midtown Mayfair is breaking ground and should be done in the very near future. You've got over 6,000 homes planned for Mayfair. So you're going to have a ton of opportunities for incredibly affordable homes with some of the best builders like Scott Felder and David Wigley, who typically don't build in that sub $400,000 range. You can get homes under $300,000 in Mayfair now with these builders. You've also got the upper end stuff. You've got Highland Homes, Toll Brothers, Perry Homes that are building larger, wider lots. I would consider them high-end luxury homes for sure, especially whenever it comes to looking at the price point of New Braunfels. You're looking at $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 homes in some of those upper end price ranges of Mayfair. And location is hard to beat, being right on I-35. You can commute down into San Antonio, take a longer commute to get up into Austin. So you have a very wide range of folks that could potentially be moving to New Braunfels. So next up is number 8 on our list, which is very unique because we're kind of combining 2 suburbs into one here. But before we do that, I want to pause real quick and remind you guys, this channel is brought to you guys completely by the Life and SATX Home Group. My name is Michael McCall. I run the Life and SATX Home Group. If you are looking at buying or selling or whatever it is, guys, and just want more information, go to lifeinsatx.com/YouTube, and we can help you guys out with whatever it is that you guys are needing, whether you're looking at moving here in 2 days or 2 years. We'd love to start those conversations with you guys right now. So this next number 8 on our list, like I said, unique. We're going to combine Cibolo and Schertz just because they're right there on top of each other and they're very, very commonly associated with one another. So that is going to be number 8. Schertz Cibolo is kind of the area that really embodies what most people would expect as a true suburb. It is kind of indistinguishable from San Antonio. Whenever you're driving from San Antonio to get to the Cibolo Schertz area, looking at the benefits of Cibolo and Schertz, right there on top of Randolph Air Force Base. So it is a huge military focused area. Some really, really good schools here. So you got Schertz, Cibolo, Universal City, ISD. You've got lots of really nice neighborhoods mixed in. You've got really good shopping right there at the Forum. You've got golf course right there at the Forum too. You've got some good established neighborhoods in Schertz, some good new construction that's kind of more in that Cibolo area. In addition to the Forum, you've also got the Cibolo Crossing area, which is where the Santikos and Evo Entertainment District is. You've got all kinds of stuff being built right there off of 35. Lots of shopping, lots of restaurants, those 2 big entertainment focal points. So it makes for another big benefit to this area. Median price in this area is like $360 to $365 for both Cibolo and Schertz. So very, very similar. A little bit higher price than what you would see in New Braunfels just for the statistics points. Now you're not going to see the higher end luxury areas like you would in New Braunfels. So New Braunfels has a lot more of that more affordable option, and you've seen a lot more movement in that more affordable range here lately in the New Braunfels area. So it kind of brings that median price point down a touch. Cibolo Schertz is much more flat. You get a little bit more of the just kind of typical subdivisions without all the hills and everything that New Braunfels can have up on the north side. But it's a big benefit in that you get a lot more of what I would consider kind of the median price range homes in these areas. That 300 to 400 range is a little bit more prevalent here in that Schertz Cibolo area. And given that it's really close to Converse, you're kind of all right there in that same general area too. So Converse is like super affordable option, and then you kind of take a step up to go that Cibolo Schertz area. Now here place in the Texas Hill Country, unique in the fact that it is having a lot of appreciation right now. So when we're looking at Bulverde, which is number 7 on our list, you're actually seeing almost like 10% growth year over year. So you're looking at a median price point of $473,000 in Bulverde, which is growing quite drastically. I'm seeing more homes that are being listed in Bulverde selling for a lot faster, a lot shorter time periods than most of the other areas, even like the Boernes and New Braunfels. Bulverde is known as the front porch of the Texas Hill Country. When you're driving up 281 from San Antonio, you go through Stone Oak, hit Timberwood Park, and then you're right there in Bulverde, right there at the intersection of 281 and 46. Comal ISD, Smithson Valley is the the high school for this area, which just won their second year in a row this state football championship. You got a lot going on in this area. So that intersection between 46 and 281 is growing because the traffic there gets pretty crazy, especially right now with the construction. But you have a lot of stuff being built at that intersection. So you've got a Home Depot, you got an HEB Plus, Academy, Walmart, all kinds of different restaurants and shopping areas that are going up right there. Got a couple new neighborhoods that are starting to pop up, but most everything in this area is kind of the higher end acreage communities. That's why you have that higher price point. Now, like I mentioned, there's not a whole lot of new construction going on, but some of the better new construction options are in Johnson Ranch with Perry Homes. You got some really, really nice homes that are kind of in that, like, I think $500,000-$600,000 starting point. And as you'll see here in a second, when we talk about Fair Oaks Ranch over on the opposite side of San Antonio, Bulverde is significantly more affordable than an area like Boerne. And I get a lot of people that look at Bulverde because they wanted Boerne, but Boerne was just a little bit out of their price range, and they wanted something maybe a little bit quieter, and that's where Bulverde has started to really explode and grow in popularity. And this leads us into another hill country option, which is Helotes. So up on that northwest side of San Antonio, right there on the corner, basically opposite ends of San Antonio from that Cibolo area, you're looking at Helotes. Helotes is very pure hill country, right? You've got huge HEB. I think it might be the largest HEB that's out there. You've got tons of shopping right there at the intersection. You've got lots of more established neighborhoods that are right there off the highways, in addition to some newer construction that's kind of close to Helotes, but not a lot that's right there in Helotes. So Davis Ranch is a really nice neighborhood that backs up to Government Canyon State Park, which is right there in Helotes as well. Helotes is a little bit more expensive than, you know, that opposite side with Schertz Cibolo. So you're looking at $380,000 on the median price point here. Old Town Helotes is a really cool little spot. Not a whole lot going on there, but one of the most prominent features of Old Town Helotes is John T. Floor Country Store, which always has some really, really good Texas country artists there, and is a really popular spot across the city. So next up with number 5, we are going to start getting into some of the higher price points. Okay, these are some of the more luxury suburbs of San Antonio, but areas that don't have just, you know, super high-end priced homes. There's some mixed in that have some better affordable homes, and we'll kind of break those down here in just a second. But first up at number 5 is Garden Ridge. So Garden Ridge is an area that I would consider kind of a luxury hidden gem of San Antonio. So it's right there on that northeast corner across 35 from Schertz. Okay, it's a very, very small town. It's mostly just neighborhoods. Okay, you kind of have a small little town center where you have like town hall and everything else, but it's basically just a conglomerate of neighborhood. Price point itself is at $749,000. So this is the median price point for Garden Ridge. Again, this is a luxury community with lots of little mixed in gated communities, acreage lots, custom homes all over the place. I mean, you've got just beautiful, beautiful homes just everywhere. You've got a brand new high school that's right there, Davenport High School. It's Comal ISD. Some of the things that are really close by to Garden Ridge, you have like Natural Bridge Caverns, Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch, right up 3009, which basically goes right through the middle of Garden Ridge. You've got easy access to everything that Schertz Cibolo has because you're just 5 minutes away from there. So you take, go south down 3009, hit 35. You got a big HEB right there, Lowe's, and then a short drive over to get to the Forum over in Live Oak. So you have lots of amenities very, very close for an area that feels a lot more isolated and quiet, even though it's really close to the city itself. Now, again, this is more of like, okay, you've got individual neighborhoods, some amenities, but not really a ton of like just overall amenities in the area itself. If you're looking for something that has more of that vibe going on, then Fair Oaks Ranch is maybe a place that we want to talk about. So Fair Oaks Ranch is coming in at number 4. This is its own incorporated city. A lot of times whenever I'm talking on, especially about Boerne, because it is in Boerne ISD, I talk about Fair Oaks Ranch, but Fair Oaks Ranch is its own city. It has its own mayor, has its own city hall, so it's got all its own stuff built in. It's also country club community, so you've got a really good golf course that is right there in Fair Oaks Ranch. You've got all kinds of different perks with being within its own kind of isolated city. Median sale price in Fair Oaks Ranch is more affordable than Garden Ridge. You're looking at $584,000. So you're looking at acreage lots. You also have, communities that are mixed in within Fair Oaks Ranch that aren't acreage lots, that are more of like the smaller lots, quarter acre or less. So for those of you that don't want to deal with the maintenance of an acreage lot, you also have some larger lots too. So if you're looking to spend a lot more money, you can get some bigger lots. Again, you're shelling out a lot higher price point for those. I do see a lot of retirees looking at Fair Oaks Ranch for the country club access, specifically in the golf course. But I get a lot of families that are wanting to be in this area as well, because Fair Oaks Ranch is south of Boerne. It's right off of I-10, so it's a lot easier to get into San Antonio than it is to be all the way up in Boerne, and you still have those Boerne ISD schools. Now, these top 3 are going to be very, very unique and very different. Okay, so and I don't mean different in the sense that I haven't talked about them much. The top 2, maybe they are, but number 3 is Boerne. So Boerne, just north of Fair Oaks Ranch, right off of the interstate, right off of I-10 and 46. Outstanding schools, outstanding downtown area. It's just got that small kind of more typical Texas hill country downtown feel to it. Now, it is blowing up, so there are a lot more people here than there were 5-10 years ago. You've got a lot more schools being built. You've got 2 different high schools, Boerne High School and Boerne Champion. Lots of different neighborhoods from Esperanza, Ranches at Creekside, Corley Farms, Shoreline Park, George's Ranch, Cordillera Ranch. I mean, you've got a wide range of homes from the 300 to 350 range, all the way up to some of the most expensive homes in the San Antonio market, especially looking at Cordillera Ranch. You've also got a lot of really good local spots as far as shopping with the boutiques and everything that are all downtown. Lots of outstanding breweries, coffee shops all over the place. You got Black Rifle Coffee Company here. You've got really good art scene as far as the local stuff that's there in downtown as well. And you've also got the Cibolo Nature Center that is right there next to, kind of going over towards Boerne Champion High School, heading out east of town down 46. And then on top of that, you've got Boerne City Lake, a small lake. No power boats available to get on there. You can sailboat, kayak, paddleboard. And when it comes to prices, again, like I mentioned, the range, you're looking at a median price point of about $435,000. So again, you're on the upper end, but realistically, you are not that crazy high above everything else, especially when you're looking at the opportunities for some of these more affordable homes, especially looking at going south on I-10. There's a few neighborhoods down there that, you can get homes in that 300 to 400 range pretty regularly, and more like classic subdivision style communities, a little bit more prevalent than say like the Bulverde area, where you only have a few of those options and more acreage stuff. Coming in at number 2, completely different from Boerne in a way, Alamo Heights is one of the areas that really kind of an icon of San Antonio. I mean, you have the Alamo City, you have Alamo Heights, okay? You've got a lot more walkability in Alamo Heights. You've got tons of historic charm there in Alamo Heights, and what I would consider the epitome of luxury when it comes to looking at San Antonio. Now, most people would probably think that Alamo Heights is the most expensive suburb on our list, but when we get to that number 1, you're really going to see that is not the case at all. But Alamo Heights' median price point is $642,000, so not quite as high as an area like Garden Ridge, because a little bit more concentrated with those acreage communities, but Alamo Heights is still definitely up there on the high-end price points of all the suburbs around San Antonio. You have some of these homes that are, 1,500 square feet that are going for $600,000-$700,000. Okay, so right location, that's updated. If you've got a little bit bigger lot, you have so much different character in Alamo Heights. If you're driving through these streets, it's a very, urban feel. You're right there in the middle of the city, but you have all these big trees, very established neighborhood, but very close to a lot of the luxuries of San Antonio. For example, you have McNay, San Antonio Museum of Art, the Whitty Museum. You're right down Broadway from the Pearl District. Niche.com actually ranked Alamo Heights as the number 4 place to live in all of Texas, and it is a constant place where the Alamo Heights ISD is also rated very, very highly in and amongst everything in Texas as far as some of the highest rated school districts. This is a place with a ton of history, much better walkability than most everywhere else in San Antonio, and some really, really good school districts. And it's one of those places you don't see a whole lot of outstanding, there's not a lot of inventory that pops up in Alamo Heights. So it's one of those where people that buy their homes typically tend to stay there for a good while. There's not a lot of turnover happening in this area. So if you can get in, you get in while you can. And finally, the number 1 suburb for 2026 in San Antonio is, again, an area that I have not talked really in depth at all about on this channel, and that is Shavano Park. So just like Alamo Heights is incorporated within the city of San Antonio, Shavano Park is the same way. So here's some of the biggest benefits about Shavano Park. So it's kind of in that north central area of San Antonio. It is close to I-10 and 1604, but on the inside of it, okay? Really close to the shops at La Cantera and the Rim. Very easy access to get downtown San Antonio. Really easy to get to the medical center. Really easy to get to Fort Sam Houston or Lackland or Randolph. So you have probably what I might consider as kind of the premier location, especially if you're not looking to be in a neighborhood that feels just super urban and very central to San Antonio. Median price point here for homes sold in the last year. Again, only 50 homes sold in Shavano Park proper in the last year, and at a median price point of $916,000. Now, there is a lot of stuff, if you look around the Shavano Park area, not in Shavano Park, that you can find some stuff in that $400,000 to $500,000 range. But there's only a handful of homes that have sold in the last year that are sub $500,000 in Shavano Park. Most everything is up there in that 800, 900, $1 million plus range. There's a lot more higher end homes on the market in the Shavano Park area, and the people that have those sub $600,000 homes, I would say, in Shavano Park, are just not selling them. And it's really for that reason that I put Shavano Park on the list. First of all, the location is super prime. The quality of the real estate here is unmatched, especially looking at the space and just the feel of it. It just doesn't feel like you're in the city, even though you are right there. Easy location, everything. And it's just a very prime place to be in. It's hard to get into Shavano Park, especially looking at some of those affordable options. So if you're looking at, 4 to 600,000, you got to really be watching everything, doing some legwork and seeing what options are available that come up, and really jumping on them as soon as they become available, because they don't happen very often. So now that we finished our number one, let's talk about some of these honorable mentions. So I did have a couple honorable mentions that I wanted to tell you guys about. And I wouldn't consider these really suburbs per se. Some people might, because they are very large areas, but these are actually neighborhoods that I just wanted to touch on. One is Stone Oak. So Stone Oak up on that northeast side. If you're looking at moving to San Antonio, being in a really highly rated district, especially the schools that feed into like Johnson and Reagan High School, Stone Oak has lots of hills. It's got a medical center right there, close to the airport, easy access to downtown, down 281, and some pretty good affordability too, from 300,000 on up to multi-million-dollar homes. Stone Oak is a very, very prime location. And then when you're talking about luxury, most of you guys know, especially if you know anything about San Antonio, if you know luxury in San Antonio, what do you think of? You probably think of the Dominion, or a lot of people at least do. That's where a lot of the, what I would consider the celebrities, the big executives, the Spurs players, George Strait, people that have called San Antonio home and are very, very well renowned. The Dominion Country Club community, multi-million-dollar homes there, 10,000 plus square foot homes throughout the Dominion, in addition to what I would consider more like smaller lot garden home styles, but still like $700,000, $800,000 homes for those. So you're looking at a very, very high-end luxury guarded, gated community right there on that northwest side, really close to La Cantera and the Rim. So it's another big area for those of you that are looking at luxury in San Antonio, may want to do a little bit more research into the Dominion. So there you have it, the 10 best San Antonio suburbs for 2026. If you guys have any questions, again, go to lifeinsatx.com/YouTube. Fill out that form there and let us know how we can help you guys and what you're looking for, and we can get on a call. Again, you can also schedule a call directly. I always have that down in the description below. Would love to get a chance to talk with you guys about that and kind of discuss what it is that can make San Antonio your next home and why it's so great. And if you're looking at reasons why there are so many people moving to San Antonio, check out this video right here. There are tens of thousands of people moving to San Antonio every single year, and this talks about exactly why that is. So until the next one, guys, we'll see you there.